Hey everyone, Mano back here with another Destiny 2 strategy slash farming slash there's really nothing else to do in the game right now, so let's farm this weapon guide. And today I'm going to be talking about the Spare Rations hand cannon. If you play on PC at all, then you might know about a little hand cannon called the Spare Rations. Maybe you've been killed by it, maybe you've been plagued by trying to get it, but in any case on PC this is the go-to weapon for people in high-end PvP. In a nutshell, it is amazing. Great bullet magnetism, great time to kill, everything is great about it. Even on console, it does amazingly well. Now, I've seen quite a few guides on the quote-unquote best farming strategies, but I've found most of those guides lacking, as they only really tell you where you can get the hand cannon to drop, and then they tell you to go farm Reckoning on Tier 2. The end. For me, that's not good enough for my community and my channel. So today I'm going to show you the fastest and easiest ways to farm the Spare Rations hand cannon. The big reason that many people are interested in farming for the Spare Rations is because of the fact that on September 3rd, 2019, Bungie made it so Gambit, Prime, and Reckoning activities now give you a significantly higher chance of earning weapon rewards. Let's briefly touch on the activities that will drop you a Spare Rations but are not great for farming. Option number 1 is the Yes Sir, I'm a Closer weekly bounty from the Drifter. It gives you a chance at any of the Gambit Prime weapons, but it takes quite a bit of time to run the Gambit Prime matches required, and you don't have a very good chance of getting a Spare Rations. Option number 2 is to play tons and tons of Gambit Prime and pray to the Traveler that you can get a drop after the match is over. And that's pretty self-explanatory. There's nothing else to it. Really nothing to say other than you need to play with the intention of either crushing your opponents every single time to make the game go as fast as possible, or throwing the game so you can get the game over as fast as possible. Which leads us to option 3, probably the best option for those people wanting to farm, the Reckoning. Again, this is where we can step in and basically make a difference between most of the guides that you've seen and my guide that will help you out. Each week there is a different boss in the Tier 2 and Tier 3 versions that will drop different weapons. The two bosses alternate from week to week. The first boss is literally the swords. They just have numbers for names like 2 of Swords or 6 of Swords. It sounds pretty dull to me, but they'll drop the Sole Survivor Sniper Rifle, the Last Man Standing Shotgun, the Lonesome Sidearm, the Night Watch Scout Rifle, and on Tier 3 specifically, the Just In Case Sword. However, that is not what we're looking for, is it? No, my friends, we are instead looking to remember the great era of Destiny 1 during the Taken King, where we are hunting the Likeness of Oryx boss. The Oryx clone drops Spare Rations, Bug Out Bag, Outlast, and the Gnawing Hunger and Doomsday dropping specifically on Tier 3. I can tell you that this week, September 10th, for the reset, you will now have your shot at farming for a Spare Rations. So now let's talk strategy. First of all, which tier to do, which is pretty much the subject of every single other farming video. Well, first of all, to farm the weapons effectively, you have to kill the bosses. That's a no-brainer. So you either need to do a Tier 2 or a Tier 3. If you look at the weapons available for each of the bosses, then you'd think that you have a 33% chance of getting a Spare Rations drop on Tier 2. That's 1 out of 3 weapons. On Tier 3, you'd think that you have a 20% chance of getting a Spare Rations since there are 5 weapons to get, so that's a 1 out of 5 chance. The only problem is the updated drop rate that has come since September 3rd. Bungie has stated that Tier 3 is now going to be significantly more rewarding than Tier 2 in drop rates of weapons. You're going to have to make the call on which one to farm, but frankly, I've actually been having far more success in farming Tier 3, and that was before the drop rate increased. If the drop rate increases by more than 13%, then it might actually make more sense to farm the Tier 3 version of it. In addition, you'll be able to farm out the Reckoner Seal armor drops and basically be able to make that decision for yourself. Here is my rule. If you're going in with a team that you know will be able to go through the bridge activity really easily, Tier 3 is not a bad option. If you don't feel that comfortable, definitely go in as a Tier 2 group. The strategies that I'm going to give you in this video are going to work for both tier 2 and tier 3 on how to absolutely annihilate the boss. Quick point of discussion: if you earn a curated roll on tier 3, that does not actually count as a weapon drop in your farms. In fact, you can actually see in this video clip right here, you can see that a person will earn 2 weapons at the same time from the same run. One of them is going to be a curated roll. It seems that the curated weapons seem to drop at a different random RNG value altogether, so keep that in mind as you are farming. Alright, so you've been waiting to say, hey, what's the difference between this guide and another guide? Now, some of you might already know this strategy together, but I have found a ton of people do not know these strategies. This is the key and the best tip that I can give to any team looking to farm for spare rations. You need to bring a Burning Maul Titan. I know what you're thinking. Mano has got off the deep end. Does he even know what the modifiers are this week? What are the singes? Mano, sir, you are drunk. And I say to you, nay, take a look at these clips and I will show you that it does not matter what the singes or modifiers are, because the Burning Maul Super has a special trick that will help you and your team absolutely annihilate the Likeness of Oryx boss. With the Burning Maul Super, when you attack the Likeness of Oryx with your heavy super attack, if you repeatedly attack the boss, it will stun him in place, allowing your team to lay everything in about 10 to 15 seconds. For most teams, that's easily adequate to absolutely destroy the boss. Again, it does not matter what singe is available during the week you are farming it. The Maul will still stun the boss no matter what. I confirmed it actually today, which is a Void Singe modifier. Some additional tricks, and the second thing to bring along, obviously bring along a Warlock that can actually drop a Lunafaction well. That's pretty self-explanatory. Run up to the edge of the actual boss area, put a well basically right on the steps, let your Burning Maul Super fly, use your heavy attack, and everyone else go in and destroy the boss. An additional trick is that whoever is running the Burning Maul, right before you cast your super, you should hit the Likeness of Oryx with a tractor cannon. Then that will actually give him added debuffs so that your different weapons can actually do more damage. Regardless of what tier you're on, this absolutely annihilates the boss. I've done this on tier 2 and tier 3, with tier 3 maybe taking an extra 2 seconds. So it really doesn't make a big deal, again, as long as you're running with a competent group. So now let's talk singes, weapons, and other modifiers that will make your spare ration farms even easier. If Solar Singe is up, the heavy weapons that you should be using are either 1K Voices or Spike Solar Grenade Launchers. There's 2 that you should be looking for. One is from Forsaken and it's called Outrageous Fortune. Now, not everyone has an Outrageous Fortune with Spike Grenades, but if you played during the actual Warmind expansion, many of you can look in your collections and find the grenade launcher named Courageous Surrender, which does have spike grenades on it. If Void Singe is up, turn on your Swarm of the Raven grenade launchers with spike grenades. If a member of your team does not have a Swarm of the Raven, you can always have that person run a tractor cannon. More often than not, other people will have the tractor cannon, and then your Titan can just go full hog on the boss. Finally, if it is Arc Singe, the best weapon to use are either the Anarchy grenade launcher or Wordcliff. In all cases, make sure that you're at least running one Warlock with Lunafaction boots so you can get all the ammo thrown at the boss in the span of the Titan Burning Maul Super. As always, as you see the Well of Radiance, if you are shooting these heavy weapons, make sure that you don't accidentally kill your neighbor, or rather get killed from your neighbor, or get killed by the sword that is in the middle of the Well of Radiance. Next up, the modifiers to look for when you are farming. These rotate on a daily basis. The ones you should be looking for are Prism, Heavyweight, and Grenadier. If any of these are up, these are great days to go farm. If it's Prism, before you go attack the boss, wait until the Singe right before the Singe that lines up with the weekly Singe. So for example, if the actual burn is Solar Singe, wait until about 10 seconds before Prism switches over to Solar Singe. And what you should do is fly over to the boss area. If you go over to that boss area in the last 10 seconds, as soon as you get to the boss, the Singe will flip. You'll be able to do essentially double damage on the boss at that point, and the boss will actually get annihilated ridiculously quick. If it's heavyweight, I mean, it's simple. Just use all of your heavy ammo and burn the boss as quickly as you can. You certainly could use something like the mountaintop, but actually if it's heavyweight, you want to make sure that you just absolutely slam through the boss. If it's Grenadier, make sure that before and during the damage phase, you spam the boss with area of effect grenades like Void Wall grenades, solar grenades, or thermite grenades. The modifier that I would dodge the most is Blackout, and honestly it's not because of the boss at the tail end of the actual activity. It's because of the bridge activity before it. It's absolutely annoying, and unless if your team is ready for the slammy slam best mechanic game checkmate smash of every single boss on that stupid godforsaken bridge, you will not have a good time on that day. Skip that day and wait for another one. And that's it. Maybe you already knew about these tricks or these strategies, but actually few outside of the PC community and Reddit groups that I've come across actually knew about the Burning Maul Titan trick. I found that running on tier 3 drops way more weapons since the patch was updated versus tier 2, but if you want to try your luck in doing tier 2 consistently, go for it. For me, I'm going to finish my Reckoner Seal, which is very doable with everyone looking to farm the weapon. As always, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to share this video and all the tips inside with your friends, and make sure to stay subbed to the channel for more Destiny 2 content. Shadowkeep is right around the corner, and before then, I'll have some videos on how to prepare for the next year of Destiny. I'm really looking forward in actually making content for Shadowkeep this year. And by the way, did you know that I actually stream on Twitch? Not only do I spend my time making videos for you, but we also have a great community over there. So join us over at twitch.tv/Manodestra777. In addition, join the Manoverse Discord community with the link inside of the description. I hope you guys get your spare rations with these tips. Hopefully it helps you out and you have a great week. Good hunting, Guardians, and I'll see you next time in the universe of Destiny.